What if I told you that your success in life is not determined by your intelligence, but by how well you deal with people? You might be talented, hardworking, and smart, but if people don't like you, trust you, or listen to you, you'll always feel stuck. That's exactly what Dale Carnegie explains in his legendary book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. In this video, I'll break down the most powerful lessons from this book so you can instantly improve your communication, build better relationships, and become more influential in everyday life. This book was first published in 1936, yet its principles still work perfectly today. Why? Because human nature hasn't changed. People still want appreciation. They still avoid criticism, and they still crave importance. This book is not about manipulation, it's about understanding people. And once you understand people, you unlock a whole new level of success. Part 1. Fundamental Techniques in Handling People. 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Let's be honest. Whenever someone criticizes you, what's your first reaction? You don't immediately think, oh yes, they're right. Instead, you feel attacked and you try to defend yourself. That's exactly how every human brain works. According to Dale Carnegie, criticism is dangerous because it hurts a person's pride and makes them defensive. And when someone becomes defensive, they stop listening and start resisting. For example, if you tell someone you always mess things up, they won't improve. They'll either argue or silently dislike you. But if instead you say, I think we can improve this part together, now you're not attacking them, you're supporting them. The lesson is simple. People don't change when they feel attacked. They change when they feel understood. So instead of criticizing, try to understand their situation, their pressure, their mindset, because behind every mistake, there's usually a reason. 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Every human being has one deep desire, to feel important. Not rich, not powerful, but important. And most people don't get that feeling often. That's why a small, genuine appreciation can have a huge impact. But here's the mistake people make. They either don't appreciate at all, or they give fake compliments. And people can easily sense fake praise. Saying, nice work, bro, feels casual and forgettable. But saying, I really liked how you explained that concept step by step. It made it very easy to understand. Now that feels real. Why? Because it's specific, thoughtful, and genuine. And when appreciation is real, it builds trust instantly. Think about it. You remember people who made you feel good about yourself. That's the power of appreciation. So don't hold it back. If you genuinely like something, say it. Because sometimes your one sentence can boost someone's confidence for days. 3. Arouse an eager want in others. This is one of the most powerful principles in the entire book. If you want to influence someone, you must stop thinking about what you want. Because honestly, people don't care about your goals. They care about their own. For example, if you tell someone, do this because I told you to, they might do it, but without interest. But if you say, if you do this, it will help you improve your skills and grow faster. Now you've connected it to their benefit, and suddenly they want to do it. That's the shift. Influence doesn't come from control, it comes from alignment. You align your goal with their desire. Another simple example. A child doesn't want to study. You can force them, or you can say, if you study this, you'll be able to achieve your dream job. Now you've created a reason, and when people have a reason, they act with energy. So always ask yourself, why would this person want to do this? If you can answer that, you can influence anyone. Part 2. How to make people like you. 1. Smile. Let me ask you something. Who do you feel more comfortable around? Someone who looks serious and uninterested, or someone who smiles when they see you? The answer is obvious. A smile is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools in human communication. According to Dale Carnegie, your smile sends a message before you even speak. It says, "I'm friendly, I'm approachable, you're welcome here." And the best part? It costs nothing, but creates instant connection. Think about this. When you walk into a room with a positive face, people naturally feel comfortable around you. But if you look dull or uninterested, people avoid you even if you're a good person. The lesson: your face is your first impression. Make it count. 2. Remember people's names. There's something very personal about a name. It's not just a word, it's a part of someone's identity. And when you remember someone's name, you're telling them, "You matter enough for me to remember." Most people forget names easily, and that's exactly why remembering them makes you stand out. Imagine meeting someone and saying, "Hey, I remember you. You're Amit, right?" Instant connection. Now compare that with, "Hey bro." There's a big difference. According to Dale Carnegie, a person's name is the sweetest sound to them. So make it a habit. Repeat their name when you hear it. Use it naturally in conversation. Associate it with something memorable. Because small effort creates strong impressions. 3. Be a good listener. Most people don't listen. They just wait for their turn to speak. And that's why truly good listeners are rare and extremely likable. When you genuinely listen to someone, you give them something very powerful: attention. And attention is one of the biggest forms of respect. Think about it. Have you ever talked to someone who keeps checking their phone or interrupts you? How does it feel? Ignored, unimportant. Now imagine someone who looks at you, listens carefully, and asks follow-up questions. You automatically like them because they make you feel heard. According to Dale Carnegie, you can make more friends by being interested in others than by trying to make others interested in you. The lesson: talk less, listen more, and people will naturally be drawn to you. 4. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. Here's a simple truth. People love talking about what they care about, not what you care about. So if you want someone to like you quickly, enter their world. If someone loves cricket, talk about cricket. If someone loves business, talk about business. If someone loves fitness, talk about workouts. Because when you talk about their interests, they feel understood. And when people feel understood, they feel connected. Most people make the mistake of talking only about themselves. But the real trick is this: make the conversation about them. And suddenly, they'll enjoy talking to you more than anyone else. 5. Make the other person feel important, sincerely. This is the most powerful principle of all. Every person you meet has one hidden desire. I want to feel important. Not superior, not famous, just important. And when you make someone feel important without faking it, you win their heart. Simple actions can do this: asking their opinion, appreciating their effort, respecting their time, giving them attention. For example, instead of saying, "Do this," say, "What do you think about this idea?" Now you've given them importance, and people never forget those who make them feel valued. But remember, it must be genuine. Fake respect is easy to detect. Real respect builds real relationships. Part 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. 1. Avoid arguments. Let's be real. Have you ever won an argument and still lost the relationship? That's exactly the problem. According to Dale Carnegie, no one truly wins an argument, because even if you prove your point, the other person feels embarrassed or attacked. And when ego gets hurt, people don't change, they shut down. For example, you say, "You're wrong." Even if you're right, they'll defend themselves harder. But if you say, "I might be wrong, let's look at this together," now it becomes a discussion, not a battle. The lesson? Don't aim to win arguments, aim to win people. 2. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Everyone believes they are right, and telling someone directly "you're wrong" is the fastest way to break connection, because now it's not about the idea anymore, it's about their ego. Instead, try this: "I understand your point," or "That's interesting, I hadn't thought about it that way." Now the other person feels respected and becomes open to your perspective. According to Dale Carnegie, respect creates openness, and openness allows influence. The key idea? If you respect people's opinions, they will respect yours. 3. If you're wrong, admit it quickly and sincerely. This might feel difficult, but it's incredibly powerful. Most people try to hide their mistakes to protect their image. But when you openly say, "Yeah, that was my mistake," something surprising happens. People respect you more. Why? Because honesty is rare. And when you admit your fault, you remove the need for the other person to attack you. In fact, many times they'll become softer and more understanding. The lesson? Admitting mistakes doesn't make you weak, it makes you trustworthy. 4. Begin in a friendly way. The way you start a conversation decides how it will end. If you start aggressively, the conversation becomes defensive. If you start calmly, the conversation becomes cooperative. For example, "You did this wrong," versus, "Hey, I think we can improve this together." Same message, completely different reaction, because tone matters more than words. The lesson? A soft start leads to strong results. 5. Let the other person feel the idea is theirs. This is pure psychology. Nobody likes being told what to do, but everyone likes believing they made the decision themselves. If you push your idea directly, people resist. But if you guide them with questions, they start thinking and reach the conclusion on their own. For example, instead of saying, "We should do it this way," ask, "What do you think would be the best approach here?" Now, when they suggest something close to your idea, they feel ownership. And when people feel ownership, they support the idea fully. The lesson? Influence is not forcing ideas, it's guiding people to discover them. 5. Emotions, not just logic. We like to believe we are logical beings, but in reality, we are emotional first, logical later. People don't make decisions purely based on facts. They make decisions based on feelings, desires, fears, and personal values, and then they justify it with logic. For example, you can give someone 10 logical reasons, but if they don't feel it, they won't act. But if you connect emotionally, even one reason is enough. The lesson? To influence people, speak to their heart, not just their mind. Part 4. Be a leader without giving off offense or arousing resentment. 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Let's say you want to correct someone. What's the usual mistake? You directly point out what's wrong, and instantly the other person feels attacked. But here's a smarter approach, shared by Dale Carnegie. Start with appreciation. For example, instead of saying, "You did this wrong," say, "I really like the effort you put into this. There's just one small thing we can improve." Now the person feels respected and becomes open to feedback. The lesson: People accept criticism better when it comes with appreciation. 2. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing others. Nobody likes being judged, but everyone relates to honesty. If you start by pointing out someone else's mistake, they feel inferior. But if you say, "I've made this mistake before too," now you're not above them, you're with them. This creates connection instead of resistance. For example, "I used to struggle with this as well, but this approach helped me." Now it feels like guidance, not criticism. The lesson: people don't like being corrected, they like being understood. 3. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Think about it. Do you like being told what to do? No, nobody does, because orders reduce freedom. But questions create involvement. Instead of saying, "Do this now," try, "What do you think about doing it this way?" Now the other person feels respected and part of the decision. And when people feel involved, they cooperate more willingly. The lesson: don't command people, guide them. 4. Let the other person save face. This is one of the most overlooked principles. Never embarrass someone, even if they're completely wrong, because public embarrassment damages their self-respect. And once respect is hurt, the relationship is damaged. For example, correcting someone in front of others, no. Talking privately and respectfully, yes. The lesson: protect people's dignity even when they make mistakes. 5. Praise improvement and encourage growth. People grow when they feel capable, and they stop trying when they feel judged. If you constantly point out faults, people lose confidence. But if you notice even small improvements, they feel motivated to do better. For example, "I can see you're improving a lot. Keep going." That one sentence can push someone to try harder. The lesson: encouragement creates progress. 6. Make the other person happy doing what you suggest. This is the final level of influence. Not forcing, not convincing, but making people want to do it. How? By showing them benefits, growth, value. For example, instead of saying, "Finish this task," say, "If you complete this, it will really help you improve your skills." Now it feels like an opportunity, not a burden. The lesson: true leadership is when people follow you willingly. Final conclusion. So after all these principles, what's the real message of this book? From How to Win Friends and Influence People. Success is not about intelligence alone. It's not about talent alone. It's about how you treat people. Do you understand them? Do you respect them? Do you make them feel important? Because at the end of the day, people may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. If you learned something valuable from this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who wants to improve their communication skills. And remember, if you can win people, you can win in life.